Okay, hi you guys. I wanted to give you my own factoring quadratic video just so I could help you a little bit further if the other two videos weren't helping you. So, factoring quadratics when a equals 1. You're probably thinking, what does she mean when a equals 1? Well, do you remember how standard form of a quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c? Right? That was standard form of a quadratic. The vertex form was at x minus h squared plus k, and a was out here actually. This is vertex. And they both could be equal to y, or f of x. It's also f of x. But yeah, so this is standard form, this is vertex form. We always factor quadratics when they're in standard form. And there's a few different types. There's when a is equal to 1, when a is greater than 1, and when there's a special case called difference of squares that we're also going to go over. So, ax squared plus bx plus c. In this example, let me get a different color. A is equal to 1, right? That's the number in front of the x squared. B is equal to 10, and c is equal to 9. So, yeah, a is equal to 1, and it makes factoring really, really easy. I think you might have learned this in Math 1, but factoring, when you're factoring a quadratic, it ends up going into two binomials, and it ends up being like x plus or minus something, x plus or minus something. And it ends up when you FOIL it back out, when you do first, outer, inner, last, it FOILs back up to this standard form quadratic. So you know how, I'm going to teach you a couple ways. So x times x, if I put x's in the front, when I go to FOIL this out, aka FOIL, that's first, outer, inner, oops, you can't see me, last. So when I go to FOIL it out, x times x will go back up to that x squared. So we're in good shape. Now I need two numbers that when I go outer, inner, so this one plus this one, it will add up to 10x. And then when I do this last FOIL, it'll multiply to the 9. So that's when you start listing things like the factors of 9. Because you need, in order to factor, you need to multiply always. This is key. You multiply up to this back number, add up to this middle number, always. So it would be helpful, since you need to multiply up to the back number, to list the factors of 9. So the factors of 9, things that add up to 9, or multiply up to 9, are 1 times 9 and 3 times 3, right? So then you look at it and you're like, okay, these are all the things, the only combinations that will multiply up to 9. Which one of these will add up to 10? So you're like, okay, 1 and 9, that could add up to 10. 3 and 3 will not add up to 10. So I know it's this one. So numbers that will multiply up to a positive 9, add up to a positive 10, would be plus 9 and plus 1, right? You have the 1 and the 9, they'll add up to this. Then, as we FOIL it out, we'll do x times this is plus 1x. Inner, we did outer, x times 1, then the inner, 9 times x, plus 9x, and then the last, 9 times 1 is 9. Then when we add these two together, x squared plus 10x plus 9. Boom! We got what we wanted because we got back where we started. So that's what factoring is. It's basically finding two factors that when you FOIL it back out will go back up to the original. So this is our final answer. If I was asking you to factor this quadratic, you would say x plus 9 times x plus 1. Those are the factors. And that would be your final answer. Okay, I think, then remember, pause the video whenever you want to look at something a little bit more in depth. So this guy, we want to multiply up to 50, add up to 15. So I can list the factors of 50. Use my purple pen. List the factors of 50. 1 and 50, 2, 25, 5 and 10, 3, 4. Doesn't 4 go into this? 4, 1, 10. No, 4 doesn't go in. 5 and 10, 6. These actually might be all the factors. So you want to multiply up to 50. These are the options that multiply up to 50. Add up to 15. If you look at it, it's like, okay, 1 plus 50. No. 2 plus 25, that'll make 27. This, if you add these together, it'd be 51. Or even if you minus them, it would make 49. 49 minus 1, 2. this guy, 5 and 10. If we add those numbers, if we make it a plus 5 plus 10, that will multiply up to positive 50 and add up to 15. So I put x and x, because that's the only way I can get x squared, plus 5 plus 10. And you have factored. Because 5 times 10 will get 50, plus 5 plus 10 will get plus 15. Something to note on both of these. See how they both have 2 pluses? So we want to multiply up to a positive number, add up to a positive number. The only way you can multiply up to a positive number and add up to a positive number is if both of these numbers are positive. If this was minus 5 right here, then it'd be minus 5 times a positive 10, we get a minus 50. So be aware of your signs. If there's 2 pluses, there will be 2 pluses in the factors. It's key. Key. Okay, now moving on to this next guy. So we have x squared minus 11x plus 24. So we always need to multiply up to the back number, add up to the middle number. So we need to multiply to 24, add up to minus 11. So we list the factors of 24. And we're like 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 6 and 4, right? Those are all the factors of 24. And if you have trouble finding these, you'll have a calculator. You can guess and check. Okay. Now we want to add up to negative 11. So you look at this and you're like, I need to add up to a negative 11. So I need to do, one of these, maybe minus 1 plus 24, that'd be minus 23. Or 1 and a minus 24, that's minus 23. So if we want to add up to a minus number, one of these has to be minus. So minus 12 plus, or minus 2 plus 12. I'll make the minus 2 negative. That's a positive 10. Or negative 10, negative 12 plus 2. That is minus 10. Oops. See my combinations I'm making? I'm just making one of the factors negative and just playing with them since it's a negative 11. Instead of a positive 15, positive 10, it's negative. So one of them's got to be negative. Neither of those have gotten negative 11. What about minus 3 plus 8? That's 5. What about plus 3 minus 8? That's minus 5. Man, that 5 is a struggle. All right, what about this one? So plus 6 minus 4, that's 2. And minus 6 plus 4, that's 2. Negative 2. Shoot. So we've tried all these options where we've made one of them minus, because if we have them both positive, it'd be 24, 14, 11. Hey, 3 plus 8, that's 11. How would I get minus 11 with 3 and 8? We're so close. We have the right number. We just don't have the right sign. What if I do minus 3 minus 8? That would get minus 11. So the factors are x minus 3, x minus 8. That's what it is. If we FOIL it out, we'd get x squared minus 8x minus 3x plus 24. We combine these like terms, x squared minus 11x plus 24. Bada bing, bada boom. So we got back up to the original using these. So here's another life lesson. Up here, when you had 2 pluses, you had 2 pluses. Down here, if you have a minus and then a plus, the only way to multiply up to a positive number and add up to a negative number is if both of them are negative. Negative 3 times negative 8 will multiply to a positive 24. Negative 3 plus negative 8 will add up to a minus number. So if it's a minus then a plus, then both of the factors are minuses. Okay, let's do another one. So we want to multiply up to a negative 56 and add up to minus x. What's really here? which imaginary 1. So we want to multiply up to minus 56, multiply up to minus 56, add up to minus 1. So multiplying up to minus 56, you could have minus 56 and plus 1. You could have 56 and minus 1. You could have, check this out, minus 7 plus 8, or 7 and minus 8. Okay, there's some other ones you could put in 2 into here, and 4, 4 and 9, 4 and 9 and, wait, 56 divided by 4. 56 divided by 4. 1, 4, 16. Yeah, 14. 4 and 14. There's other factors, but look at this. Minus 7 plus 8. If we added them together, that'd get a positive 1. We're close. We need to add together to get a minus 1. 7 minus 8. That will get a minus 1. They will add together to be a minus 1. So I know my factors are then x plus 7, x minus 8. Because when I multiply this back out, that'd be x times x, which gets x squared. X times this minus 8x. X times this plus 7x. This gets minus 56. If I FOIL them out, first, outer, inner, last, I get here. Which, when I combine like terms, I would get back up to the original. Because minus 8x plus 7x is minus x. Wow! So this is fully factored. Wow, I can't box this with a one hand. There we go. That's fully factored. Okay, one more example. If there's a negative in the front, see how all of these didn't have negatives in the front? If there's a negative in the front, what you gotta do to make this problem way easier is factor out that negative. What happens if you factor out that negative? Every sign in here changes. So that becomes a positive x squared. This becomes a positive 5x, and this becomes a negative 24. Because if we FOIL back in the negative x squared, negative 5x, negative 24. Negative times negative will make a positive 24. So that's legal. So basically, if you see a negative in the front, just take out a negative. Then we factor the exact same. We want to multiply up to a negative 24, add up to a positive 5. So I will list all those factors of minus 24. Minus 24 plus 1. 24 minus 1. Plus 8 minus 3. Minus 8 plus 3. How I'm getting these is I'm just literally doing, okay, 4 and 24 and 1 will make 24. 8 and 3 will make 24, and making 1 negative, 1 positive. Because I have to multiply up to a negative number. The only way you can multiply to a negative number is if one's positive, one's negative. Negative 6 and positive 4. Positive 6 and negative 4. Oh, and negative 2 and positive 12, and positive 2 and negative 12. There's a lot of factors of negative 24 over here when we have 1 negative, 1 positive. Then they need to add up to 5. So we have all the options, 8 and 3, 6 and 4, 2 and 12, 24 and 1, with each one having a different sign. Which one will add up to 5? Pause the video, see if you can figure it out. Okay, hopefully you see that plus 8 minus 3. That is actually what will add up to 5. So we can do x plus 8, x minus 3. And we can't forget the negative we took out. So this is your final answer. Woohoo! So if you have any more questions on factoring, make sure you watch some videos, email me, get help. I hope this was helpful for you. Factoring quadratics when a is equal to 1.